It was recently the 1-year anniversary of my first upload to YouTube. A little over 365 days ago, I released a video called The Out of Control Fascists of America. Since then, I've released about 200 or so fairly short videos sharing my thoughts and trying to promote a certain view on a range of political and philosophical issues. I have met a few landmarks recently. First, I got 100 subscribers, then I got over 10,000 views in total, and now it has been a year, so I decided it was about time for a channel update type video. At some point, I would like to do a questions and answers video as well as this update. If you have any questions relating to anything, from my views on an issue, wanting me to clarify something, or basically whatever, relating to politics, my channel, or even myself, feel free to leave them in the comments. Alternatively, you can DM them to me on Twitter or Discord. Both links are in the description. I want to talk about 4 main things today. How I view my channel, how I feel about it so far, the 5 best videos I think I've put out in the last year. I was going to do the 5 worst as well, but I will probably do that in a video at a later date to prevent this one becoming too long, although I may briefly touch on it. And my future plans for the channel. So on that note, let's get into things. Firstly, how do I view my channel? I view it as a platform for me to share my views. It is kind of a stream of consciousness, sharing my thoughts on a diverse range of issues that I consider to be important. I like sharing my views because I find doing so fun, and I like creating stuff. I also do it because I think my views are generally the correct ones, and I think it is a morally good act for me to promote them. It also allows me to keep a record of my views and build on them, with the help of criticism from other people. It allows me to improve my understandings, and hopefully helps others to do the same. I want to share arguments I view as good, to both win people over and to improve the understandings and arguments of people who already agree with me. I always liked making political images and writing down my political opinions, as well as sharing them verbally, so I thought, why not combine these things and do so more publicly online? In simple terms, I find doing this fun, and I think it is a good thing to do, as it promotes ideas which I think are good for society. My channel is not a means to make money or establish a massive fan base to feed my ego. I have not achieved those things, and still I push on. I do so because such things are not my goal. My only goal is to share the best ideas, or what I view as the best ideas, I should say, and to share them in a way that I find enjoyable, because that is what I like to do. More subscribers and views are a very nice bonus to that, and something I do take enjoyment in, but they are not the reason that I do this. That should be fairly obvious, I guess. I always have an urge to share what I view as the right views and ideas, and the channel gives me a means to do that. I have always enjoyed doing that in creative ways, and the videos I think are an example of that. Of course, some of my videos don't really communicate much in the way of ideas. The Eagle song and Halloween videos being good examples. These exceptional cases are basically just pure entertainment with a political tint. But generally, I try to communicate ideas I view as good and care deeply about. I think doing so is both enjoyable and a good thing to do. Moving on from that, we come to our next section of this video. How do I feel about this so far? I feel fairly pleased. I have released a very large quantity of videos, which were fun to make, promote views which I view as correct, and provide what I view as good arguments and counter-arguments, as well as fairly good understandings of much of the subject matter. I have released over 200 videos sharing my thoughts this year, all while working part-time and attending school full-time, as well as managing my own life. I have over 100 subscribers and have gotten over 10,000 views, and those numbers continue to go up every day. A couple of my videos have broken the 1,000 views mark and continue to grow in views every day. My channel is steadily growing. While such numbers are not my main goal, they are still very pleasing. I really appreciate all of my subscribers and viewers. I know many of them have plenty of ideological disagreements with me. I feel very good about my channel 365 days later. I think my content has improved, I think I've promoted good ideas, and I have found doing so very fun. For this reason, I intend on continuing to put out videos regularly. Given the fact that it has been 365 days, and I have recently passed a couple of channel landmarks, I thought it would be fun to look back at my masses of videos and decide which 5 I think are the best. It just wouldn't be a 1-year anniversary video if I didn't get a chance to shamelessly praise myself. Why not take some pride in what I view as my best content? Being able to recognize what I view as good and what I view as bad is important if I am to improve my content at all. Of course I could do so privately, but I would like to know what you all think of my choices for my 5 best videos, as well as what videos you think are both my best and my worst. So, what videos am I most proud of after this 365 days? I could judge my favorites by many standards. I will judge them based on my view of the quality of the content of the video. Interesting but perhaps not surprisingly, my largest videos are not those I regard as having the best content. Far from it, in fact. My biggest videos often seem to be defined by nothing but keyword-loaded titles. I do like basically all of my videos, but some are just better than others in terms of content, and really do stand out in my view. Obviously, my views here will be fairly subjective, and perhaps the videos I like might not be those you would consider my best. This list is by no means exhaustive, and I have no intention of re-watching all my videos to make it. 5 is a small number, and I think I have a lot more videos that are absolutely worth watching. But of course I think that. I actually found it hard to pick 5 videos I liked more than the others, but eventually I made a decision. I will now list what I view as my 5 best videos, and give a short description of why I think they meet that mark. Links can be found in the description. Do note these 5 are not in any particular order. For number 5, it took me a while to come to a decision. It was a toss-up between one of my morality videos and one of my videos on nationalism, one of my newer videos on general political issues, or one of my newer free will versus determinism videos. In the end, I decided on my recent free will does not exist video. I liked this video because I think it is by far the best in my selection of videos on the subject. The others go into greater depth on some issues involved, but ultimately I prefer this one, as I think it gives a good summary of my arguments against free will, and some random other things related to the topic. I like this video because I think it gives a fairly good argument for what I think is a very radical way of viewing the world. I think the premises I lay out are clear, and the argument is a lot more concise, simple, and understandable than many of my arguments often are. For its simplicity, yet effective tackling of a difficult issue, I value and am proud of this video. For number 4, I decided on my evolution and purpose video. Once again, this is one of a number of videos I have released on this topic. I think this one is in most ways considerably better than the others. It is short and concise, uses a far better image, and in my view, effectively puts into question the validity of arguments which attempt to tie evolution to an objective human purpose. I always found many people seem to think evolution ascribes a natural objective purpose of reproduction. As I say in the video, evolution is simply a process that seems to occur. It has no intent and ascribes no purpose. Saying evolution ascribes the purpose to reproduce is as foolish as saying gravity ascribes the purpose to fall. I think it is important the idea of some kind of evolutionary natural purpose is challenged, because it is incorrect and seems to lead to all kinds of weird views in politics, philosophy, and people's individual lives. In this video, I wanted to challenge that idea, and I think I did so quite well. For number 3, I decided on my emotional justice video. In this video, I go after retributive justice, something which I've gone after many times before, and very much despise as a concept. When I was younger, I actually loved the idea of the death penalty, and other kinds of retribution, but later I realized it was a highly emotional and unjustified desire for revenge. I like this video for many reasons. I like the image for its simplicity. I like the title. It may not be the best for working with the YouTube algorithm, but I think it nicely describes exactly what retribution is. I like this video because I think it once again represents a short and concise, yet very good attack on retributive justice as a concept. As the name implies, it largely focuses on the important fact that retribution is an emotional urge, something which most certainly shouldn't dominate the justice system, where rationality and morality should be behind decisions. I find it ironic that the same emotional urges that often lead to crime often appear in the justice system itself. Almost like those who govern are often little more civilized than the worst of those they rule. I like this video as an attack on the immoral, emotional, and irrational concept that is retribution. For number 2, I chose a video which is perhaps my favourite of all. The Horror of Teaching Acceptance is the title of this video, which attacks a component of deep-rooted homophobia, which is far too often ignored. The idea that it is brainwashing to teach kids gay people exist, and that it is okay to be gay, and that it is mere education to brainwash every child into thinking they are straight, and that straight is the only way to be, or at least the only good way. I think this deep-rooted homophobia is at the root of society's bad treatment of gay people. It prevents gay and bisexual people from understanding themselves. It leads to real confusion when children find out the lies about heterosexual monogamy absolutism that were forced upon them as children are just that. Lies. And it leads to people viewing gay people as weird and deviant, not part of what they were raised to view as the norm of behaviour expected from them and everyone else. In my view, this confiscation of children's ability to understand themselves and massive propagation of homophobia is, in every sense of the word, deeply rooted and a massive problem. It also represents a disgusting hypocrisy when the people who have indoctrinated countless children with a narrative of heterosexual monogamy absolutism dare to claim that teaching kids that gay people exist is a form of brainwashing. It is absolutely disgusting that such blatant and harmful hypocrisy exists, and a clear indicator that our society is largely immoral and irrational. I think people should be taught 2 principles regarding relationships and sexual interaction. All that an interaction must be is firstly, not immoral. Morality is the first concern, and secondly, enjoyable. They should be told they can be in a relationship with who they want. Don't force heterosexuality on them, let them choose and discover who they really are. This is the only approach that is not indoctrination or brainwashing. Any other approach will lead to confusion as well as hatred of both the self and the other. This issue annoys me a lot because I take it very personally. I have seen so many people who seem desperately confused about their sexuality. And at the core of that confusion is undeniably the forcing of heterosexual monogamy onto children. This is not to say all parents who have done this are evil. It was the norm and what was expected of them. They had the same thing done to them. We must change the systems and cultural norms. Hating people who made the mistake of pushing such a close-minded view of reality is not a solution. What you should hate is the larger oppressive social norms, which need to be changed. I like this video because I think it lays this idea out very well. The image used leaves something to be desired, but I think the content more than makes up for it by offering a very good criticism of the real indoctrination of children, not by gay ideology, but by pearl-clutching conservatives who view teaching reality and acceptance as a threat to the immorality that they love to perpetuate. For number 5, I just had to choose the big one. Nazism is a stupid ideology. This is by far my longest video so far, at 38 minutes long, and also the one I undeniably spent the most time on. My aim was a more detailed video, tearing apart a number of Nazism's key components and the ideology as a whole. I think I did a good job at proving the idiocy of Nazism. I think I used good imagery for a more serious topic, and I think my use of segments attacking specific parts of the ideology was good. This allows people to watch my criticisms of specific components of Nazism without having to watch the full-length video. I targeted components such as nationalism, cult of personality, authoritarianism, anti-Semitism, love of war and violence, and autocracy, and effectively exposed the idiocy of these ideas that is central to Nazi ideology. I used a range of supporting arguments including both strictly logical arguments and specific historical evidence, which made what I think was a very strong case against the joke of an ideology that is Nazism. For about 12 minutes of the video, I made perhaps my strongest case against nationalism so far. I have attacked nationalism as an ideology frequently, and the nationalism segment contained in this video may well be the very best example of that. The video included many arguments which I have put together after hours and hours of debating self-proclaimed Nazis and finding new, more effective ways of addressing their idiotic ideology and arguments. I also read up a bit on the topic to strengthen my case with historic examples and the like. I like this video because it represents one of my most detailed videos and something of a breakaway from my more simplistic short content. I think it effectively uses a range of arguments and draws from my own experience dealing with these people to make a very strong case that Nazism is an immoral, irrational, and stupid ideology composed of smaller ideological components worthy of being described with the same set of adjectives. I think this video is quite possibly my best of those on this list, or at least in the top 2, alongside The Horror of Teaching Acceptance. Anyways, that brings an end to me praising myself. You may have noticed many of my favourite videos have in common that they are concise, packed with what I view as good points, and a clear argument or idea. I place great value on such things, as I think they are good for communicating points, as well as possible, to people who often lack the time to watch some kind of hour-and-a-half breakdown. They have their weaknesses, such as a lack of complexity, but generally I quite like these shorter videos. This is not to say there is no place for longer videos, because there absolutely is, and they serve a vital purpose. It is just important to have good short videos promoting left-wing ideas, as well as this very common longer-form debate, discussion, and video essay style content. My Nazism video is obviously an exception from my normally short videos, but I thought if anything deserved to be thoroughly ripped apart in a longer-form video, it was that joke of an ideology. As I briefly mentioned earlier, I still provided timestamps, so people could get specifically what they wanted without having to sit through the whole video. At some point I will do a 5 worst videos video, which could be a bit of fun. I will go into this in further depth at some point, but most of the videos I dislike because I say or imply something I no longer believe, or miss an important argument, counter-argument, or idea I had a good opportunity to bring up, meaning the video was just not as good as it could easily have been, or because the image I used for the video was ugly and bad. Top contesters for my worst videos could include something such as my race realism video, which I think was made way worse by the images I chose to use. I used very silly, ugly cartoons. I now prefer to use more serious images for more serious topics, while keeping the ugly cartoons for less serious stuff. Another contester for my worst video could be my democracy vs autocracy video, which is the biggest video at the moment on my channel, with well over 2,000 views, but could be so much better in terms of content, audio quality, and image. This video is in my view a good example of the fact that good videos and a lot of views do not necessarily go together. Quite often it is some of my worst videos that get a lot of views, I find. At some point I will do a more detailed video criticizing some of the shortcomings myself or others have recognized in some of my content. Feel free to leave a comment on what you think is my best and/or worst video or videos, and why. So, what are my future plans for the channel? I have talked about this before and little has come of most of my claims. What I can tell you is that I do intend on making plenty more videos. My video output may or may not be a little bit less than last year, but I do not plan on stopping. I find making videos too fun to do that. I will make more content of the kind you are probably used to. The short commentaries on random issues, arguments, and ideas. I also plan on doing some more slightly longer videos, like the Nazism is a stupid ideology one. I plan on doing the occasional stupid video, as I have been doing for quite some time. But what about exciting new content? For a while I have said I intend on doing some debate and discussion type videos at some point. This could be fun, but my mic quality when I do debates and discussions leaves a lot to be desired and has largely held me back. I also take the idea of platforming people very seriously, and I don't want to platform bad people unless I am totally sure I can crush them. While I think I am generally a competent debater, I don't think I'm good enough to reliably do that every time, and I don't like taking the risk. I do debates quite often, so it is not like I don't debate, I just don't record them or post them. Some have been recorded and found their way onto YouTube. Normally I have terrible microphone quality in these debates, which really does hinder my ability to make points. I like debates and generally do decently in them, but I haven't recorded or uploaded them due to my mic quality and platforming concerns relating to my competence. This isn't to say that my ideas are bad and I can't defend them, this is just to say that rhetorically speaking I am not as good as I could be or would like to be. Some may say this doesn't matter as my channel is small and it doesn't really matter who I platform. I don't care if my channel is small. I don't want to screw up a debate and to give a single person the false impression that a stupid ideology is better than it really is, just because I made a foolish decision to enter a debate I wasn't completely prepared for. I am also a little rusty at the moment and I haven't debated in a while. I need more practice and better audio quality, and then perhaps you will get some debate uploads out of me. As for discussions, this becomes a little easier. The platforming concern is largely out the window, as I would only have discussions with people who I deem to be reasonable. Mic quality is still a concern, however, and is the main reason I haven't done this so far. When I record alone, my mic is fine, but when I talk to someone it is often awful, likely due to internet connection related issues. I am far from a technology expert, but that seems like the logical thing to blame if the actual mic does seem fine when recording my voice alone. But I do at some point intend on doing some discussions when I can alleviate these issues, or perhaps I will just try anyways, and maybe I will eventually get a recording of uploadable audio quality. So in summary, expect more of the kinds of content I already do, such as short commentary videos, very short dumb videos, and the odd longer more serious video. And I may at some point upload some debates and discussions as well. If you have any other forms of content you would like to see from me, feel free to tell me in the comments. Not that I can really think of any kind of content other than perhaps live streams or reaction content, neither of which I have any intention of doing, at least not anytime soon. On that note, it is conclusion time. I am pleased with my channel and plan on continuing to make videos. Thanks very much to all of my viewers and subscribers. If you have any video recommendations or things you would like me to give my thoughts on in a video, feel free to leave a comment. Also remember I am doing a questions and answers video at some point, so leave questions relating to my content, ideological stuff, thoughts on something, or whatever else if you like. Well, that brings this video to an end. Goodbye and have a great day.